Every time someone says dating in New York City is so difficult, I think about how much harder it is to date in the suburbs. And while I do think New York City, because there are so many options, people tend to be very quick to move on, there are so many logistical factors to dating here that are easier. The first thing that comes to mind are cars. I think an early date should be drinks. I don't want to be stuck at a multi-hour dinner with someone if I don't like you, which means you're probably having drinks, which means you might be a little bit tipsy, which means you probably don't want to drive home. And if you're in New York City, you get on public transit. If you're in a suburb, there are no public transit options, which means you either need to have a friend who can drive you or a car through an app. That might not exist in your suburbs. In my hometown, it certainly doesn't. And having a friend on standby is just logistics that, again, what happens if the date goes longer than expected and they want to go to bed? The next thing I'm thinking about is the place itself. If you live in a really small town, there is a realistic idea that there is only one place for you to go, which means if you're dating multiple people, they might also be at that same place. Again, seems messy, something that people in New York City just do not have to deal with because the odds that you run into someone you know are super low here, although it's happened to me before. Another logistical nightmare is what I would call like the laziness factor. People in New York City get to be so lazy when they're dating. Like, there are definitely friends of mine who will not date someone who lives in a particular neighborhood because they just don't like the train line that goes there and it's too much work. And there are simply enough people in your age bracket here that you could make that feasible. So I don't know, I have very little empathy for people on the logistics side when it comes to dating in New York City. That doesn't mean the people are all perfect. Believe me, I'm not saying that, but think about how good we have it.